This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16.
If you are among the thousands who use the North Cross Valley Expressway in Luzerne County, you know the final section of that roadway has not been built yet.
And now you may have something to say about how that is designed. Newswatch 16's Mark Davis is above the highway in Skycam 16.
Mark, how soon will that be built?
Well, Karen, unfortunately for most of us in this area, that won't be done until sometime in late 1990. But today and tomorrow, drivers in and around this area have a unique opportunity to become part of the project. Now, how do they become part? It's very simple. They fill out one of these short, simple questionnaires and then drop it in a mailbox. Driving on the North Cross Valley Expressway and seeing the men in the orange vests, you might think this is the start of another construction project. Well, in a way, it is. These men are from the Pottstown engineering firm, which will help PennDOT design the last leg of the highway from River Street to Route 115, 315, and Interstate Route 81. The postcard simply asks where the drivers are going and where they came from. The drivers like the idea of being a part of this project.
So I can't wait till it opens up. Yeah, that'll be great. Right now there's too much traffic, or I think, you know. When that Cross Valley opens up, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, real good idea. This is a pain in the neck here.
That pain will be eased somewhat with the public's help. The information is vital to design.
All the information will be fed into a computer, and the engineers will determine the need for ramps and numbers of lanes and so forth.
Now, more than 20,000 different surveys will be handed out over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, the crew will be in the area of routes 315 and 115, so if you're in that area, be on the lookout. Now, this is rather unique. The last time this was done in this part of Pennsylvania was just before the construction project started on the Schuylkill Expressway near Philadelphia. I'm Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, reporting live aboard Skycam over Wilkes-Barre. Karen, Nolan?
Thank you, Mark. A warning tonight if you're planning to use the Pennsylvania Turnpike in the Philadelphia area. A 22-mile stretch is closed tonight because of a ruptured gasoline pipeline in King of Prussia. It happened near the Philadelphia Gear Corporation. The gas spill has shut down the turnpike between the Downingtown and Norristown exits. Nearby homes, a school, and the shopping mall at King of Prussia have been evacuated. As crews were trying to contain the gasoline leak, they reportedly punctured a natural gas line, and that's causing even more problems. No reports of injuries, and so far, no fires or explosions in the leaks at King of Prussia.
Next, more results of our exclusive Newswatch 16 election poll. With Election Day just 1 month away, the latest poll centers on a bitter congressional battle in the 11th Congressional District. It's between one-term Congressman, Democrat Paul Konjarsky, and the Republican challenger, Mark Holtzman. Here's News Director Paul Stuber.
Once again, Newswatch 16 commissioned Teichner Associates, a nationally respected polling firm, to conduct our research. Late last week, 400 registered voters in the 11th Congressional District were asked how they'd cast their ballot if the election were held that day. The results: Konjarsky is the pick of 41% of the voters sampled, Holtzman draws 28%, and 31% remain undecided. That's a 13 percentage point lead for the incumbent. The statistical margin for error in a sample this size is plus or minus 5 percentage points. What about the 31% undecided? Teichner analysts tell us that's an expected figure. They say most people make up their minds about their choices for senator and governor before picking a congressional candidate. It's when you break down the results by political party that some important trends appear. Remember, the 11th district is traditionally heavily Democratic. For a Republican like Holtzman to unseat an incumbent Democrat, he's going to have to rally his own party behind him and get a heavy crossover vote from Democrats. So far, that doesn't appear to be happening. Here are the totals from voters who said they are Democrats. As expected, 56% of the Democrats say they'll back Konjarsky. 14% say they'll cross over to vote for the Republican Holtzman. But now let's look at the Republican side. Of the Republicans we polled, 49% say they're going to vote for Mark Holtzman, but 22% have decided at this point to vote for Konjarsky. The Teichner analysts say that with fewer Republicans in the district, Mark Holtzman is going to have to lock up more than his current 49% of his own party if he's going to do well. And he has to hope for a bigger crossover vote. The Teichner analysts say Holtzman still has an apparent recognition problem. He's got to shore up his Republican support between now and Election Day and go after the Democratic voters. What does Kanjorski have to do to win? The Teichner analysts say he has to continue to court potential Republican crossover votes without alienating his hardcore Democratic support. We'll be back in the weeks ahead with more exclusive poll results. I'm Paul Stuber, Newswatch 16.
As you can imagine, the candidates themselves have been conducting their own polls. When you deal in politics, you want to know where you stand. According to Congressman Kanjorski's poll, he stands farther ahead of Holtzman than what our poll shows. Kanjorski's poll was taken a week before WNEP's. His results, Kanjorski leads Holtzman 56% to 28%, with 16% of the voters still undecided. Kanjorski told us even though our poll is not consistent with his, he's happy about both results.
At this point, 4 weeks out from the election, with what our polls have shown is constantly along being approximately 30 points ahead, we're very comfortable, but we're optimistically cautious. We're going to proceed with our campaign as hard as we can and present the issues to the people.
And Republican Holtzman says his own poll, taken last month before our Newswatch 16 poll, showed more voters for each candidate and less of them undecided. Holtzman says 48% favored Kanjorski in the 11th district and 33% favored Holtzman. But only 19% in the Holtzman poll said they were undecided, compared to 31% undecided in last week's Newswatch 16 poll. Holtzman commented on the polls and Kanjorski's apparent lead today at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport.
A month left to go, and with a third of the electorate still undecided, when there's an incumbent that people know very well in this district, that shows that most of the undecideds are leaning away from him and probably, if not 50-50 split, probably split toward our favor.
Holtzman called it a race and said he's encouraged and feels he's within striking distance of Kanjorski.
The Weather Watch is next with our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark.
Beautiful day today, Paul. I'm telling you.
It was nice.
We took a walk around Lake Scranton with a Wednesday's child today.
You did. And just a beautiful blue sky today.
That's right.
Warmer weather coming. When we come back, I'll tell you if it's going to be a big warm-up or just a little bit warmer. You're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP TV. We're proud to serve New Ringgold and all of Schuylkill County.
Save on quality hardware and tools during the Pro Fall Sale. Over 200 super values, like Knappenvoigt's new shelf anchor one-piece mounting system. Installs easily without special tools and comes complete with an 8x24-inch walnut finish shelf. Pro price at $788. And Leviton's latest designer line Decora wall switch. An elegant way to turn on your lights, your walls, your home. Pro priced at $798. Buy two, get one free. Sale ends October 18th at these and other participating Pro Lumber, Home Center, or hardware stores.
Remember your first camp out, roasting those Armour hot dogs over a fire. Your dad swearing at the tent, and you making sure those Franks came out somewhere between well done and incinerated. You'd take a bite and wonder, was it that crackling fire or that starry sky that made those dogs taste so good? I guess you could taste how much Armour cared. Well, Armour still cares, and you can still taste it.
Well, we're going out to the backyard now. Our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is enjoying what's left of this beautiful day. Tom?
Okay, Nolan, thank you. Indeed, about 20 minutes of sunshine left, a deep blue sky overhead still at this hour, a beautiful fall evening. Not quite as cold tonight, though, as it got last night, but it's getting quite cool outside now. Let's check in and see how cool it's getting across the viewing area now. Well, Tricia Garwood, and, well, first of all, I'd like to show you this. Some planets visible in the west this evening. The crescent moon at the 2 o'clock position from the moon, you'll see the planet Saturn a short distance away, and low to the horizon is Venus. Tricia Garwood in Fleetwood checks in with 62 now in her backyard, and Doug Spangenberg in Wilkes-Barre, a future meteorologist, 57 at his place now, and it's still sunny. And in Mill Hall, Darlene Felding has 54 degrees under a clear sky. In the backyard now, we have a reading of 55. The humidity is 42%. The wind southwest to 10, the barometer at 30.18, and it's falling. 57 and 36, the range here today. 89 and 29 are the records for this date, and 60 the high a year ago when it was nice and sunny. And there's a live view from Skycam 16 this evening, high above Wilkes-Barre. Now, coming up next, a satellite cloud photograph put into motion showing the movement of the clouds in the past 24 hours. As you can see, a generally west to east flow of cloud systems, still a lot of storms pushing down towards the Great Lakes, and the big Canadian air mass now blanketing much of Pennsylvania. The weather looks good for the baseball playoff game tonight in Boston, but by the end of the game, well, it'll stay clear, but it could be about 46 degrees by the 9th inning. This high now moving offshore, and with winds blowing clockwise around highs, we'll get into a stronger southwest flow tomorrow, and that should push us back up into the 60s. This cold front, though, will be slicing through Thursday to cloud us up with maybe a chance of a shower, but that's about it as far as rain the rest of the week. More dry air will follow. 23, the nation's coldest temperature today at West Yellowstone, Montana, 93 in Fort Myers. For tonight, a crystal clear night. The stars will be out. Just another cool, crisp evening. Some cold dew on the grass by morning. Maybe a few pockets of just a touch of frost tonight, but about 37 in Clark's Green overnight. New Ringgold, 38. Canton, about 36. Upper 30s in Flemington, that's out in Clinton County, and the breeze coming in from the west tonight. Here's the sunrise time for tomorrow morning, and that will be at 7:07, and the sun setting now at 6:34. Overnight, clear, 38 for the low here in the backyard. 65 tomorrow. A very comfortable afternoon. It'll stay mostly sunny. Just a few patchy clouds. Then on Thursday, nothing more than a passing shower with that next front, 62. 56 on Friday, but sunny heading into the weekend.
Looks good.
Good news.
Yeah.
Right,
Tim
thanks.
Carlson is next with the Sports Watch, and a former NFL star who has turned from drug abuse to fighting the war against drugs.
Plus, the brand new Super 16 high school football rankings with a new team at the top.
It's the perfect winter getaway, and it could be yours free. As part of their customer appreciation celebration, Orlowski service stations and Quick Mart stores are giving away 6 trips for 2 to the Bahamas. 5 days and 4 nights at the Bahama Princess Hotel, including round-trip airfare from Philadelphia. You can register to win at any of the area Orlowski service stations or Quick Mart stores. The drawing will be held November 29th, so start entering today. What a way to get away! A winter vacation in the Bahamas. Enter now at any Orlowski service station or Quick Mart store.
What is it about Genesee beer that makes me think of the great outdoors? Well, it's pure. It's natural. And like the bighorn sheep, Genesee knows you have to be really competitive to succeed. So Genesee goes all out to give you a premium taste. Genesee beer. Now, that's the great outdoors in a glass.
And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
It's a light beer, but it's a hearty beer. Somebody has finally found a way to make a good light beer. Genesee Light.
Well, for the second time, a delay in the Super 16 because of all that rain over the weekend.
But we have it today, and some exciting news, too. For the 3rd time this season, there's a new #1 team in the Super 16 high school football rankings. And below the top spot, plenty of movement among the other teams. Let's check them out. At number 16, the Penn Argyl Green Knights stayed at number 16 despite winning over Pocono Mountain 21-0. At 15, the Berwick Bulldogs reappearing in the rankings after knocking off last week's #1 team, Williamsport. At number 14, the Coughlin Crusaders up from 15th after shutting out Pittston area. At number 13, the Freeland Whippets staying at 13. They did win by shutout over the weekend, however. At number 12, Montoursville Warriors up from 14 after winning over previously undefeated South Williamsport. At number 11, East Stroudsburg. The Cavaliers sliding up a notch from 12 last week. They won big over Northern Lehigh. In the 10th spot, the Catasauquas Rough Riders also up 1 spot after a close win. At number 9, the Whitehall Zephyrs, another 1-spot advancer. They took Bethlehem Liberty in the last game. In the 8th spot, the Williamsport Millionaires, they fall from number 1. They held it for 4 weeks, but they lost to unranked Berwick last week, 25-14. It was Williamsport's first loss this year in 6 games. At number 7, Mount Carmel, the Red Tornadoes up from number 8, still unbeaten in 6 games. At number 6, the Towanda Black Knights, also up a spot from last week, still undefeated in 6 games. At 5th place, Valley View, the Cougars, another loss-free team and also moving up a spot. At number 4, the Stroudsburg Mountaineers up from 5th after a monster 46-0 win over Pleasant Valley. In the 3rd spot, the GAR Grenadiers undefeated in 5 games. They're up from 4th. At number 2, the Marion Catholic Colts galloping through a perfect 6-0 season so far. They won last night over Nativity, 55-6. And number 1, the Milton Black Panthers, the new top team, last week's number 2 team. As a matter of fact, the Black Panthers have been waiting patiently in the number 2 spot for 4 weeks now. They made good the chance to move up to the number 1 spot last night as they defeated Bloomsburg convincingly 42-6. They're a perfect 6-0 this year. There's a former pro football player in Bloomsburg today continuing his personal campaign against drug abuse. It's something former Miami Dolphin running back Eugene Mercury Morris has been doing a lot lately. And Albie Oxenrider is live in Bloomsburg with Mercury Morris to find out why. Albie?
To the students this afternoon at the Haas Auditorium and the football players at Haas Auditorium, in addition to the staff and the faculty of Bloomsburg. Tonight, more of the same. He'll talk to more students, and he'll talk to the general public at the Haas Auditorium. Mercury's with me now live. What is it that makes you want to go to a different place, a different audience every night talking about this subject?
Well, number one, I think that there's so much misinformation that's being bandied around the country right now, and that the problem itself is actually being diluted by the involvement of so many people, the people in Washington, D.C., making legislation, all of these things that are really far away from the problem itself. We need to get back to the necessity of understanding each and every individual and allowing this person or giving them some type of direction so that they themselves can make this decision about what and what not to do.
You like to refer to this problem as a people problem, not a drug problem. That's interesting.
Exactly, because I believe thoroughly that that we have allowed ourselves the acceptability of certain aspects of this problem in and of itself. Drug abuse and alcohol abuse are the exact same thing. One is illegal and one is legal. The acceptability factor of alcohol is greater than the acceptability factor of illicit drugs, when in fact the alcohol problem is the most dangerous and most prevalent problem we suffer from in the United States, but we tend not to deal with that. Now, we're obviously not going to extract the drugs from society without extracting alcohol. It's number one problem. So therefore, obedience is not the answer, but rather the conscious awareness of what we're doing, and to give a person, a young person, an opportunity to see where these problems developed. I'm a product of the 60s, and I firmly believe that that this problem initiated as a solution to certain problems then in the 60s, and now in the 70s it became acceptable in this country, and now in the 80s it's an epidemic problem that once was a groove has now become a rut.
Right. Okay, we'll have more on Mercury's rise, fall, and back to rise to stardom tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and more tonight at 11. Albie Oxenrider live with the Instacam at Redmond Stadium in Bloomsburg.
Thank you, Albie and Mercury. The complete story of Mercury Morris and his fight with and against drug abuse coming up tomorrow on the 6 o'clock Sports Watch. And tonight on Channel 16, 8:30, we will have the Boston Red Sox and the California, almost says the Los Angeles Angels, in Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. We'll see you later.
Okay, good.
Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Newswatch 16 continues with a bittersweet story of help and hope.
A camp that helps victims is in need of help itself, and we'll tell you about that next.
Giant Floors Home Decorating Days going on now. The sale of the year on everything for your home.
The kitchen of your dreams can be yours with Congolium Bright Life. Now sale price just $8.99 a square yard. Congolium Bright Life comes in over 15 patterns and features a high-gloss wear layer. New Congolium Bright Life.
Store-wide savings plus free decorating, great selections, and 6 months to pay with no interest. Now during Home Decorating Days at Giant Floor and Wall Covering Company.
For 25 years we cared about you, the James Way.
It's our 25th anniversary.
Since 1961, when Herb Fisher opened his first James Way store in Jamestown, New York, we've grown to 100 stores strong.
The James Way.
We've built our name on names you can trust and quality you can depend on.
That's the James Way.
We care about you, the James Way.
Finally tonight, Muhammad Ali's former training camp is a much quieter place these days.
Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini reports on a home that helps others but needs help itself.
It was Muhammad Ali's kingdom when the former champ trained. Ali now leases the camp in Lower Schuylkill County to Thy Kingdom Come for $1 a year. But the home for abused, unwanted children and unwed mothers is, in boxing terms, on the ropes. Director Bernie Andrewski says the home has many more expenses which must be met through donations.
The major part is just the housing, the electricity, the grocery bills that we pay, the insurances. There's a lot of other peripheral expenses.
Tammy?
A live-in assistant stays in each cabin to help the unwed mothers. But Thy Kingdom Come goes beyond care. Tammy Kleckner, due any day, knows what she wants to do after the baby is born.
Well, I plan on graduating out of food service in high school, and I plan on going for a food service job.
Unwed mothers here must prepare for the future through school. Marie Heckman of Pottsville was disowned by her mother after she got pregnant and got in trouble with the law.
It was a choice of the Thy Kingdom Come or jail.
Marie studies cosmetology at Southern Schuylkill Vo-Tech while living at the camp where the greatest got ready for his fights. The room where Muhammad Ali used to train is now the recreation center for the home. In fact, this is where the boxing ring used to stand. Ali hasn't trained here in about 5 years, but the people who run the place are hoping to get him back here sometime in the future to help with their fundraising efforts, because what was once a place for brutal fighting is now a place for wonderful healing. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, near Deer Lake, Schuylkill County.
And that is Newswatch 16.
Enjoy your evening.